King Andrias is a very mysterious newt. What's he planning, and who are these people? Let's find out. First off, let's discuss what we know about the king. He rules over all of Amphibia, and resides in the prosperous capital of Newtopia. On the surface, he seems like a nice enough dude. He's taken Marcy, a total stranger, under his wing. Not only that, but he was extremely hospitable to the planter family, and he generally has a very friendly and warm demeanor. However, despite appearing to be one of the good guys, it's heavily implied that he's hiding something. For starters, we see him play a chess game at the end of Marcy at the Gates, with chess pieces eerily representing Marcy and Anne. He then states that the pieces are starting to fall into place, and that it's time for the game to begin, suggesting that he's perhaps manipulating things from behind the scenes. Even more suspiciously, his castle basement has a crypt, complete with spooky ghosts. But that isn't the only thing he's hiding in his basement. We also have this mysterious painting. By piecing together all parts of the painting, we see that it depicts a younger looking Andrias, accompanied by a small pink frog on his right shoulder, and a green toad standing to his left. The most striking thing about this painting to me is that this trio shares similar traits with our human trio. Not only do we have a frog, newt, and toad representative, but their skin tones also match the colours of the Calamity Box stones. Perhaps then it's possible that this trio are also bound together by destiny via the stones. I have specific reasons for believing this, which we'll come back to later. So what do we know about the pink frog and the green toad? Well, here's a thought. Andrias says something interesting at the end of A Day at the Aquarium to Marcy. The proposition he made to her aside, he mentions that it's always sad to see someone go. To me, it sounds like he's talking out of experience. Now, I'm going to assume that if you're watching this, then you're probably familiar with the common theory that the pink frog is Sprig's dead mum. If not, allow me to quickly fill you in. Like Sprig, the frog has pink skin and the same colour hair. She also has a similarly styled eyelash to Polly. It even seems like she shares Sprig's build. Not to mention, it may be more than a coincidence that not only is Sprig's mother apparently dead, but that the frog in the portrait specifically isn't shown to us as clearly as the other two figures, as if it's some kind of spoiler. What I'm getting at here is that it's very likely that the pink frog, who is potentially Sprig's mother, may have disappeared somehow, maybe even the green toad as well. So then the question is, how did they disappear? Well, this is where the theory gets a little crazy, but bear with me. As we know, each member of the human trio has certain character traits associated with them, and said traits may directly be linked to the stones. Most importantly, each character has a toxic flaw. What if this trio of characters were unable to overcome their toxic traits, and something bad happened? Something which quite literally tore them apart. While I think it's very unlikely that Andrias would have done something drastic like killing his companions, what if he betrayed them somehow? If this is the case, I think the most likely thing he did was leave them stranded on another world, one of the ones we saw in Andrias's book. Now let's revisit a concept I mentioned earlier in this video. I suggested that Andrias and the other two figures may be linked to the stones in the same way that the girls are. And if that is the case, we can assume that the colour of the character indicates the colour of the stone. If that is the case, then Andrias would share the blue stone with Anne, which is symbolised by a heart. So what do we know about the stone? If Anne is anything to go by, the stone has strong links to friendship and making connections, something Marcy specifically remarks upon. However, we also know that each human has a toxic flaw, with Anne's being her self-centeredness. That being the case, then I'll be willing to bet that the king also shares this toxic trait. He is the king, the world of Amphibia literally revolves around him, so it's easy to see how he would end up becoming selfish. In which case, it wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination to think that there might have been a situation where he betrayed his friends in order to save his own hide. So we've established that Andrias' friends might not be dead, just simply not in Amphibia. This gives us a potential motivation for Andrias as to why he needs the girls and the box. Maybe he wants to get back what he lost, and now with the box and the girls to recharge it, he can do just that. This seems like an admirable venture, so why not just be outright? Why all the secrecy? There are many potential reasons. Maybe he's ashamed of what he's done, or perhaps he simply doesn't trust the girls enough to ask them for help. Either way, I think it's likely his motive is finding his friends again, if he shares Anne's inclinations towards friendship. With that being said, if he is indeed selfish, then he might be putting his needs over the humans, and might plan to betray them in some more sinister way. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. I make discussion videos like this one about currently airing shows like Amphibia and The Owl House, two funny animatics which you can check out on my channel page. Thanks so much for watching.